G'day guys, welcome to another layout. Today, welcome back to the channel. Hope you've had a wonderful day. What am I scrapping today? Oh, this is our Christmas day. Hang on a minute. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. I just realized that. Sorry, I've done a few voiceovers in a row and I completely forgot this was Christmas Day. So I thought I would share some photos on this layout that will make you smile. These are Gizmo. This was him, I think it was last year, or maybe it was the year before, when he was dressed up as Rudolph. It was so cute. Taylor does this every year. She goes and buys him some crazy little outfit. This year she dressed him up as Olaf. It was just adorable. Or a snowman, but yeah. So it's super duper cute. So what I'm doing here is I'm using some Lunar paste. I'm using Tropical Tango and Game Over, and I do use a bit of Gold Rush as well. And these are my Lunar paste, but I'm using them as kind of like a paint. Like instead of scraping it through the stencil, I'm using a makeup brush, a makeup sponge, sorry. And I'm just getting some color down. Not really perfect, just getting them down and getting it on there. So that was the I'm moving everything around in front of you there. That was a bit rude. Now I had to pull out another, there you go, you can see 15 pack of blending wedges. That's what I use for they're only like $2 from Kmart, guys. Like, they're so cheap. Now I'm adding texture, but I'm not putting the Lunar paste on super thick. So I'm using my sponge to pounce it, and it gives you a really nice texture. Now I am not only doing, so that's my offset that's colored in gold. And now I am these are some cut files that I bought from COAPA, Confessions of a Paper Addict cut files. And they are Christmas baubles, and I will have the link for those in the description below in case you want to have a look at them. I obviously only bought one, and what I did in Cricut Design Space is I sized it to the size I wanted, I duplicated it, and then I flipped one. So flipped it horizontally, and that way they're facing each other. And that way I got one to go in my left hand corner and one to go in my right hand corner down the bottom. So that's a really cool way of doing things. I don't know why years ago I didn't even give that a second thought. I always thought I had to buy two. I know, right? I was so green when I first got my Cricut. I had no clue that there's a flip button and you can just flip it over and you literally get the mirror of the same thing. We live and we learn, right? Hey, it's Christmas. It's all good. So I hope you got everything that you wanted today. I hope today you're spending the day with loved ones. If you're not, then guess what? You can spend the day with me. And I'm more than happy to share my wonderful time with you this morning, hopefully. Or maybe you've curled up. Maybe your kids have passed out for a little while and you're all full from Christmas lunch and you're finding yourself 15 minutes to sneak off somewhere quietly and watch the video and just have a zen moment for 5 minutes before the food all rolls out again later on. And yeah, I will be on Christmas Day. I'll be spending the day with my husband's family, my mother and father-in-law and his brother. So that will be a really cool day, and my kids will obviously get all their presents and stuff in the morning, and we kind of have our family Christmas on my side of the family. We do it a couple of weeks earlier because, you know, everyone's we're all married, so all my brothers are married, and you know, so there's obviously two sides of every family. So yeah, we divide and conquer when we can. We come together when it suits us all to kind of come together a little bit earlier, and it works. So yeah, so see how my Christmas baubles, see how they are. Now I'm gluing these straight down because I wanted to have a little bit of a play with some cheaper supplies today because I thought, you know what, I'm always using, I don't want you guys to ever think that my channel is all about the latest and greatest product, because you know what, we all have products that we've bought, spent good money on, and we don't use them nearly enough. So yes, I have used my LUNAR pastes because I love them, and they're glossy and they're shiny and they're shimmery and they're fantastic. Absolutely love them. And so I've used them on my titles. Now here you'll see I start to go around these with my black pen because I didn't even think about it, but the offset's gold, and I put gold through the center of the word, so it disappears. So I now had to go around my letters. There you go. By the magic of television, I skipped over that bit so you didn't have to watch me do it, so that the letter actually sticks out a little bit, because I've gone around with the black, and I did that before I attached it to the offset, because I always do it the other way and it makes it so much harder. Do it before you attach it. It's so much easier, and it stops the mishaps of running onto the edge. It's, yeah, much better, much better. So I make up my title, and then I get back to the actual layout. Now you can see that I've gone around some of the stars. I've gone around with my Uniball Signo, I always get the name of the gold one wrong. Uniball Signo Broad Gold Pigment Pen, and I'm also using the black one here. I'm not actually happy with that black edge, but I let it sit and marinate with me for a minute because I thought, just leave it alone for a bit. You might actually pull it together, but that's okay. So I pulled out my Faber-Castell watercolor pencils. I know I have spent lots of money on the Distress watercolor pencils, but I find that I get a much better buttery blend when I'm using it as just a normal coloring in pencil. I really love these Faber-Castell ones, and they're really nice and soft. They're not, look, are they pro quality? Are they, what's the amazing ones? There's, let me think. I can't think of the name of them off the top of my head, but, you know, they're not top of the line, but I don't use them enough to justify spending that sort of money. I can get them to work, and I can layer them up, and I can get a good shading going on with the colors in this particular set. I actually wouldn't mind getting, there is a set you can get, and it has got like every color under the sun on it. I would love to have that, but you know, it is what it is. So as you can see, I've got this in fast forward, so you can see that I am just blending. The trick with colored pencils, guys, don't push hard. Layers. Put a layer of color down, and then go over it again really softly, and add another layer of color and another layer of color. Use your, if you're like me and you're not the best with colored pencils, use your white. Use your white for your blend in the center. You can leave white space, like I have just there, right? You could leave white space, but you can also keep layering on top and layering on top. I do use a couple of different colors of both the green and the red, and the trick is to do a little bit of coloring. So in the corners, you do it darker because that's where the shadow would be. You know, right at the very front of the Christmas bauble, well, that's where the most light would be hitting it. So it would be its shiniest or its brightest. So it's super simple. They're just coloring in pencils, and for the actual baubles, I don't use them as a watercolor pencil. I use them just as a pencil blend. That's just what I did on them. The holly leaves, I did use them as a watercolor pencil, so you can see, because I've put these over the top of the stars. Now, the reason I have actually gone ahead and put the watercolor and activated the watercolor with the pencils on the holly leaves is because I want you to see that they're kind of translucent, and you can still see the stars behind them. So I actually did do that on purpose. That wasn't a mistake. and I was actually okay with it. I think it looked okay. So the tiniest bit of water on a brush, and I've blended those two green watercolor pencils together seamlessly. Now, if I wanted these color pencils, whilst they're great, they don't blend. I get a better blend with them using them as a pencil rather than adding the water to them. That's my experience with these particular ones. I did pull out my Aldi ones as well because I wanted a grey, and this set doesn't have a nice grey in it, which is, like I said, ideal world, you would have Prismacolor, that's what they're called. You know, if you could have, you know, your polychromos or your Prismacolor 200 set pencils, you know, I mean, then you've got every color under the rainbow and you can blend them all together. But, you know, I mean, I don't use them enough to justify that. So there you go. So this is, you can see it all sort of coming together now. You see, once I put the sparkling on the front of them, it's colored pencils, guys. This is what I'm drawing your attention to on Christmas Day. Not always do you need the latest, greatest product to be able to create a really pretty, sorry, they're frozen grapes, by the way. Jen's feeding me frozen grapes. You don't always need the latest and greatest product. You don't need one of everything. Nobody can possibly use all of that stuff. I have a lot more stuff in my collection because I'm creating videos for you guys. I'm creating inspiration. I'm bringing you products that are, some of them are new. Yeah, absolutely. The LUNAR pastes, I mean, they're just beautiful. And yes, they're new, but at the end of the day, you don't necessarily, what I'm trying to say is you don't need everything. Colored pencils, that's what I've created. You know, this cut file, we always think of cut files, we've got to either back them or we've got to add colored paper, you know, cut out colored paper to inlay them, or use some foam tape and raise pieces up in them. Why don't we just glue them down and use some colored pencils? Why not? What a great idea. Kids are starting school next year. You know, maybe you've got one in prep, maybe one in grade 1. Do the first day of school, cut your cut file out, get them to color it in with their own hands, with their own crayons, with their own pencils, you know, on their own layout for their first day of school. You know, that's a memory that you guys, you know, you might have that luxury because your child, Carol, there you go, there's one for you for next year. You know, get, I won't say her name, but, you know, get your daughter to you know, participate at the time on their first day of school layout. You know, colored pencils, they can do that. They can, I mean, they're not obviously going to blend like this if they're a child, but, you know, you can give it a go. Adding the shadowing underneath the baubles, it adds another element that sort of tricks your eye to thinking that it's raised up and it's 3D. Nothing on this layout is raised up. There is no foam tape in sight. There is no, none whatsoever. Have you noticed that I've pulled out my Stabilo All Pencil? And Stabilo All Pencil means, if you don't know what they are made by Stabilo, and you can get black, white, red, blue, yellow, green, I think. I only have black and white, and they are a really waxy pencil. They're water soluble. They will always be water soluble. So if you use them, know that anything wet will reactivate them. I went around the outside with the black because I wasn't happy with that border, and then it was too black. So I came out with my white Stabilo All Pencil and went over the top, and that helped dye it down a little bit. So I'm a little bit happier with it. So here it is, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you sincerely have a fantastic day. Eat lots of bad food, make memories, snore when you go to bed tonight, give your kids a big hug from me, And I will be back tomorrow with another video and some more scrappy inspiration for you guys. And I too will have an amazing day. If you want to see the photos, they will be up over on Facebook when you get time. Don't take any time out of your day with your precious family. Enjoy it. It will be up. It's going nowhere. Merry Christmas, guys. Have a wonderful day, and I will chat to you again soon. Bye for now.